and grays and a lot of metallics. I've been also experimenting with smaller versions of it and dots. So you can see I get better at this. This was my first one, which is okay, not bad. This is my second one, which I actually shared online because it's better. Graziella loves dots. She puts dots in everything I've ever done to her. And then this is the one that I just recently did, which I like. I feel like I've sort of got it. And at some point in the future, if we want, I might do a mandala class to teach you how to do something like this with the dots and stuff. It's really not that hard. I do want to say that I'm not charging anything for these. I just want to share this thing that's given me peace. But if you want to do something, you could like order takeout food or get some wine or order something from a small business that's in your neighborhood, because they, we all really need it. And if you can do it, great. All right. So are we ready to get started? Yes. I'm gonna have everybody take a piece of paper out like this. Piece of paper. Got it? The first thing we want to do is create a square shape, because that's going to help us to diagram everything out, okay? So to make sure that we have a perfect square, we're going to take this piece of paper and we're going to take the top corner and we're going to fold it down like this and even it out like that. And we're going to make a diagonal fold. Okay? Everybody got it? Making a diagonal fold. Fantastic. If you ever want to like put your paper up and show it to me, that's I love that, okay? I'm going to unfold it and see where my diagonal is. Now I'm going to fold the other corner in. So I'm folding it on the other diagonal. And it's going to give me this. And then when I open it up, there should be like a multiplication sign in the middle, an X, right? So I'm going to take my pencil. I think I'm going to use a Sharpie because it'll be easier for you to see. And I'm going to go over that line, those two lines. Now, if you have a straight edge, you can use that. If you have a ruler, or I just folded another piece of paper to give me a straight edge. And I'm going to check that. And I'm going to go over these two diagonal lines with a pencil or with a Sharpie or something. Okay? You won't be able to see me because I'm done. And this. You should use a pencil, I think, because eventually we're going to go over those lines with something else and you'll be able to erase the pencil line. So this is what mine looks like, right? Got it? Fantastic. Yes, good. Very good, everybody. Very good. I'm so proud of you. I'm going to go up to gallery. Okay. All right. So I want to, just to help myself, to make sure I have a perfect square, I'm going to fold over this little bit here at the bottom that goes beyond the X, right? So we can get rid of it. Hi, Louise. Right? I'm folding it back so that all I have is the X in the center of a square. Got it? Diane Glover. Hi. Diane Glover, are you wearing the mandala jacket wait a minute, ladies and gentlemen. So I painted this mandala jacket for Diane. Isn't that cute? See, it's a small world. Thank you. You're a fabulous model, Diane. And you look adorable.
I love you.
Oh, I love you too. Oh, okay. So do we have this? Because now we can fold it in half so that we have a sense of a straight line down the middle. And we're going to fold it on the other half so that we have two X's. Okay. And then I'm going to go over those lines with Sharpie. So you're doing it with pencil, I'm doing it with a Sharpie. All right. So you'll end up with something that looks like this. It's a multiply sign and a plus sign together. It's an X and a cross together. Okay? Got it? I'm gonna give everybody just a second. If you fall behind, yell at me in the chat. When I taught the class before, I went too fast. I did this last Friday, and I went too fast, and people yelled at me in the chat, so I slowed down. Good. So we've got this, all right? Good? Everybody good? Got it? Got it? Yep. Okay. Now is where it gets interesting, people. It's where it gets interesting. So I'm going to have you just designate. I want you to find that spot. Anyone yell when you go too slow? Someone said sometimes I'm going too slow. But that's one of my students who's very fast. So I'm going to put a little dot at the 4 spots where the plus sign is in the middle, right? Here, here, and here. Okay? So those 4 spots, just designate them so you know where they are. And then we're going to connect those spots. I'm going to show you really quick on the thing. So I'm connecting the points on the horizontal and vertical that touch the edge of the paper. Got it? And I'm going to do 2 more. I'm sort of doing all of this on the paper now, but I think that's okay. Okay. So what I end up with is a diamond shape in the middle of my paper. Got it? A diamond shape. Gonna give everybody just a second to catch up. Good. Do I have chats here? I'm gonna read my chats while you guys are catching up. I'm just watching, babes. Thank you, Jorge. Dot. Okay. Got it. Okay. Everybody's good. Got it. Oh, wait. Uh-oh. There we go. All right, good. Okay, that's the one. Okay. Okay, so now we're going to do just a little bit of measuring. This is going to be the only part that's going to require measuring. So find another piece of paper or whatever. Okay. 80 Fuentes just joined. You're going to be fine, 80. You're going to be fine. Make an X and an X and a plus sign in the middle of your piece of paper. Okay. So watch. I might try to catch 80 up in just a second. So the important thing now is I want to know the distance from the center of my shape to the point here. Okay. Now what I've done is I just took a piece of paper, measured that distance. You don't need to know what the distance is. You just need to mark it. And I marked this piece of paper with a little thing. I'm doing that backward, right? So I know how far it is. And then I'm going to give everybody a chance to do that. And then you need to use your marker or your pencil to mark that same distance on these cross lines, right? So you're measuring from the center to that same distance here over here. Does that make sense? Everybody got it? I'm going to mark these. You're going to mark it on all 4 parts of the X. Okay? So you want to have 4 dots in the 4 corners, sort of. Got it? Oh, Jen Baloo. Hi. Brigitte, hi. So how you do, Brigitte, are you caught up? Can you follow? Yeah, you're gonna be okay? Okay. All right. All right. Okay. So I've got those 4 dots lined up like this. Now I'm gonna connect those 4 dots with lines. So I'm gonna make a square that is intersecting with the diamond. All right, does that make sense? Okay, I'm gonna do this, and then I'm gonna come back to you. And this is the hardest part. So the rest is all cake, kids. It's gonna be amazing. If you have a straight edge, just to make sure your lines are accurate, that's great. If you don't, it's okay. So I end up with something that looks like that, right? A diamond in front of a square. So my very, very smart friend Barry, who took the class last time, was like, it's weird that some of the points in a square wouldn't make it all the way to the corner of a square. And we both had to think about that, because you can ask my mom, I was not great at geometry or trigonometry. But really what we're creating here is based on a circle, because a circle, every point is the same distance from the center. So the mandala is really based on a circle design, even though we're creating squares to help create the framework. Okay, does everybody have 2 squares that are in front of each other? Yes, hold it up so I can see it. Amazing. I am so excited about everything. Hold up your squares. Very good. Tom, hold up your squares. No, he's just following. Okay, all right. Okay, so now we're gonna create this same diamond square shape inside of the diamond square shape. What is he talking about? That was super confusing. Let me go a little slower. So we're gonna find points. I want you to find the point where the square crosses the X, crosses the cross. So I'm gonna put a little circle here, right? And then I'm gonna put a little circle over here. It's wherever those lines intersect. And then I'm gonna put a little circle here. And I'm gonna put a little circle here. So you should have 4 circles. Now I'm gonna designate the other 4 spots where those lines connect. But so that you don't get confused, I'm going to use a little X to mark them. So right here, I'm going to put a little X. Right here, I'm doing this upside down and backwards, kids. Don't attempt it at home. I'm going to do an X here and here. So you should have sort of 4 dots and then 4 X's. Does that make sense? Everybody got that? Yes, I'm getting thumbs up from people. That's very reassuring for me. So then I'm going to connect the 4 dots and the 4 X's, okay? Connect the 4 dots and the 4 X's. So I connected the 4 X's first. That's going to give me a square. And then I'm going to connect the 4 dots, and that's going to give me a diamond. Okay? It's diamonds and squares, kids. Diamonds and squares. All right. This is what it ends up looking like. I was very fast. So don't think that I'm expecting you to be done that quickly. But it's diamonds and squares. Yes, Miss McCluskey and little McCluskey. Excellent work. Yes, Jen. Very good. Guys, you're an excellent class. Very good, Brigitte. Yes, Jen, Richard. Very good. Good. Yes, Mom. Let's give a round of applause for my mom. Yay! Oh, that was fun. Okay, so let's do this again, right? Yes, Betsy, that's it. You got it. We're going to do this again. I'm going to put me on. So let's do a 0 here, right underneath the last 0. Let's put a little 0 here, right next to the last 0. A little 0 here, right next to the last 0. And a little 0 here. And then underneath the X, I'm going to do the little X. So again, we're designating those junctures like that, right? So I want to be able to identify them. Even after all the mandalas I've made, sometimes I'll get confused about which connects to who. So now we're going to take a second and connect all the circles with all the squares. And I'm going to come back to you in a second. So first I did the square, and now I'm going to do the diamond. So now I've got them both done. The cool thing about this process is that you have this technical part. We're going to do probably one more square and diamond. And then once you have all the framework there, then you can be crazy and creative and do all kinds of different things within the framework. And it's like life in a way, right? You need to have some structure underneath the crazy creative stuff so that you can be free to experiment and explore and try different things. So this is like all that structure that we took for granted a month and a half ago that we now are like, oh, wow, all that structure was good. But that's why the mandala for me is so soothing and reassuring, because the structure is all there. Once I get this done, then I can be creative. So I'm gonna do one more set of circles and X's. Circle, 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 right? 4 circles. And now 4 X's. Those X's and the circles should all line up, right? X's, X's, X's. And then once I get them done, I'm going to connect them together. X connects to X, circle connects to circle. All right.
Hello, can you hear me now?
Yes. Who is that? Who's talking? Who is that? Anybody? Hi. Hi. Oh, it's Graziella.
Yeah.
So I'm going to tell you the story. Graziella, Natalie and I were doing a test. Oh, that looks great, Graziella. Fantastic. Natalie and I were doing a test at 4 something, and Graziella popped into the thing. She was having technical difficulties. She was trying to figure it all out. Brigitte, that looks great. So she's really been on this journey with us. Okay. Mom, let's see. Amazing. Great job. Everybody has it, right? So this structure that you've created can be this size, or it can be like a 30 by 30 size, right? It's just creating these squares that go out and out and out, or in and in and in, and then you can adjust it. When I first learned to do mandalas, I would use circles, and at some point you have scale issues, right? Like do you guys know Corey Narson? I did a big mandala in Corey Narson's office, and it was before I learned this technique. So I was like, I need circles, and she was like, I'm gonna bring in all my mixing bowls. So she had like 7 sizes of mixing bowls that we used to make the circles. So at some point, if you're doing a mandala that's huge, like you're not gonna have a circle big enough. So this is a good way to do that. All right. So I am going to now that everybody has this structure, we can start adding the decorations to it. I'm going to grab a little thing. So hopefully this will work, because I ended up doing it on this instead of with chalk. But I'm going to use colored markers to do the different petals and the different shapes. So hopefully it'll show. I'm gonna start with red, because I think that'll read. Okay. So if you look into the very center of the shape now we have sort of a basic structure in here. And you're gonna now create what are like petals or repeating shapes that are gonna extend out. So we're gonna start with something fairly simple. I'm gonna do a curved line here, and I'm gonna follow this in to a point. So I'm gonna do like a petal shape, right? So it's gonna be curved on one side, and then it's gonna come all the way into a point. And I'm using the red marker to sort of fill this in, right? So once you start, you repeat that shape all the way around in each cell that you've created, okay? You guys can see the red Sharpie, right? It sort of reads. This is cleaner than the chalk. Okay. Okay. So repeat that pattern on every cell. One of the things that Natalie taught me early on was sometimes it's good to turn your paper around as you do it, because it gives you a sense of the symmetry. And within your structure, you can adjust the shapes. So I'm looking at mine, it looks like these are a little smaller than these. So you can do this sort of a tricky thing where I'm just going to go in and give a little bit more of a thicker outline around some of them, so that they sort of look more like the same. Right now they feel like a little bit closer. Okay. All right. So next, I'm going to do another row of designs. I'm going to use my orange Sharpie to do these. Okay. So you guys can use whatever. You can use pencil and then go over it with paint, or you can use pencil to create this shape if you don't feel confident, and then go over it with Sharpies or crayons or colored pencils or whatever. Okay. All right. So that's my first layer. Now I'm going to teach you another shape. So we have the one that's sort of around at the top and pointy at the bottom. So I'm going to do another shape here. I'm going to do one that's just two curved lines, right? So it comes to a point. Now, the important thing for me to look at is where this point falls on my shape. I'm having it end up sort of in the middle of these two dots. Okay? You cannot see very well. And you can't see the orange, Jen? Yeah? All right. I'm gonna do another one and see what happens. So the another thing to do, it was proximity to the camera. Okay, I'm gonna keep it up close. The other thing you want to do when you're doing your second row of designs is to alternate the position. So I'm gonna make these two shapes for going here and here. This one's gonna go in between those two. So the next one is gonna go in between these two. And I'm starting that shape from the same point, which is sort of the middle of these. And now I'm gonna go here and here, right? And I'm gonna, oh, I went too high. All right. So look, you're about to learn a really hard lesson about mandala making. Sometimes you can mess up, and then what you do is the thing where I say you pretend it was on purpose. So now I'm gonna just make this shape bigger and go all the way up to that last shape, right? So they sort of match. And then I'm gonna be like, oh, that was genius. And sometimes it is. Sometimes you make a mistake and it ends up being even better than what you hoped for. So you always have to be open to, Bob Ross used to call it the happy accident. Do we know who Bob Ross is, everybody? Yeah, we love Bob Ross. Okay, so I'm gonna continue this same shape all the way around. And it's just two curved lines that sort of collapse in on each other. It sort of looks like an A, but the A is a little bit curved, right? So I'm turning the paper around and I'm doing the same shape on every side. And one more here. Right? So that's what mine sort of looks like. Right? Hold it up, Beth. Oh, that's gorgeous. Yes. Fantastic. I'm loving it. So it's incredible because they're like snowflakes mandalas, right? They end up totally different. There's no real, you can sort of have an idea about what you want to do, but they sort of have their own life. They grow and develop in their own way, okay? So I'm going to do another row I'm gonna grab a different color Sharpie here. I'm gonna try purple now. Okay. So I'm gonna make this one. It's a classic mandala petal shape, which is 2 curved lines. Okay. So the line curves, let me draw it on something else. The line curves one way, and then it curves the other way. Can you see that? And then on the other side, it curves in, and then it curves up. And you end up with a shape like this, like the top of an ice cream cone or something. So again, it's a curved line in, and then a curved line up. It's a curved line in, and then a curved line up. Sort of gives you a petal shape. So I'm gonna do that with purple on this. So I'm gonna start here, sort of in the middle of my orange triangle, and I'm gonna end it over here. And then I'm gonna curve in, and then I'm gonna curve up. I'm gonna curve in, and then I'm gonna curve up. Got it? I'm gonna do that. You wanna start from the same spot, curve in and then curve up. Curve in and then curve up. All the way around. And we're aiming for this point, right? We have a spot to aim for because the structure that we created earlier gives us a guideline. So I'm aiming for this, starting at the same spot and going up. Turning it around, going around in all directions.
I'm a little lost with this part.
Okay, show me, where are you? Who is that? Hold on, let me go to gallery view. Show me what you've got. What are you lost about, Elizabeth?
Where to start the onion, like the onion top things?
So I'm looking at your thing. All right, so I would do it.
Maybe go around the purple.
Yeah, or yes. So here's what Natalie's suggesting.
In
You have
between the
very
purple?
clear corners here and here and here. So you could do a big onion shape. Go start at the end of those purples and go big and go all the way up to one of the bigger shapes that are out there and clear. Does that make sense, Elizabeth?
Let
I
me
know
see.
it's hard. I wish I could do one example for you.
Start in between these two or start here?
Start at the end. Actually, you know what I would do?
At the tip or in between the purples?
I would actually start in between on the reds. Touch the center of a red petal.
Okay.
Touch it. Perfect. Okay. And then connect it all the way up to that point that's in the corner.
This one?
That one and the one on diagonal.
And that one?
So start from the middle of the petal
Mm-hmm.
and connect it up with that onion shape. So up and then in. Okay. And now do the other.
Okay, so the onion comes up in between here.
Yes. So that's
okay.
Got it? Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Good. All right. So listen, guys, Zoom is very amazing in many ways, but I do miss being able to like reach over someone's shoulder and Betsy, so pretty, and be like, okay, do it like this. All right. So I'm going to finish this smaller onion shape. And then
I still don't know what I'm doing.
Elizabeth. All right.
If I
So look,
suggest
connect the middle of the red all the way up to that corner in some way, shape, or form. Good. Do one and then show it to me, Elizabeth. I'm gonna click onion. Do one and then show it to me.
Oh God, I can't.
Thank you, Natalie.
Oh, this is not turning out.
Let me see it, and I can give you some guidance as to where maybe it's gone awry.
It doesn't look
So
like a
I'm in-
blob.
Don't listen. This is a safe space, Elizabeth. All right, let's talk about that. Yes.
Yeah, let's.
So look, all right, let's talk about it. Start in the middle of the red. I'm gonna really quickly approximate what you got going on there. Hold on. Guys, you guys are doing an amazing job.
Ma'am, I have a suggestion. If you try
Yes.
to make your onion petal point like on the same line as the purple petals point, you can make a really big onion leaf that just looks like it's behind the purple petal.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to get her to do. So
Okay.
Elizabeth, you have this, right? You have those, and then
Yeah,
you have the purples that are kind of coming in between these, right?
right.
So that's a red. Connect the two centers of the red out into that onion pattern. So find the two centers of the red,
Uh-huh.
and it's gonna go around. It's gonna go around the purple.
Okay.
That makes sense?
Yeah. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Let's see if I can do this.
Yeah. Look, so if it doesn't work out, then fill it in is my only thing too. Something like that. Not exactly like that. Fill it in and then add more to it. Okay.
Let's see.
So we're ready for our next shape. I'm gonna use red again. Okay. I'm gonna do a petal that looks, that's not red. But it's sort of like a parenthesis here. It's gonna be a wider version of this one that I did down here. And it sort of looks a little like a half circle too, as I'm discovering. So maybe I'm just gonna go with that.
Where are you starting from, David?
Great question.
When
From
you're
the point of
okay.
the last one. And that's gonna be true for a lot of these, right? If you find the center of your previous shape, that's where you want to start the next shape, or just right to the side of it. So again, I'm doing sort of a half circle with my red all the way around. Just gonna give you something like that. Hold on, I dropped my marker. Don't go anywhere, guys. Drop my marker cover. I found these markers in my old teaching bag, which I couldn't believe the lids were still on them and they were still functioning. So something like this, right? I'm gonna let everybody get caught up for just 1 second. Even though I suspect some of you are like, I don't need David anymore. Like I get this now. I see where he's going with this. So good, fantastic. That's what every teacher wants. Sometimes all petals are staggered. Yes. So you're going in between the last two petals for the next one. Okay. I'm going to let everyone get caught up for a second. And then I'm going to do another row with orange. I'm going to make this one because I really want to do a nice big onion dome shape for my last one, right? I want to save that from everybody. Hi. So I'm going to do something sort of smaller here. I think what I'm going to do is another one of these little petals like that. Just like two curved lines making a point. Right? And I'm going to hit in the same spot, which is in between the two red half circles, but not all the way to the end, right? Because I want this shape to be a little smaller. So do you see where that placement is of my next row? It's small, it's sort of in between the petals without taking up so much room. It's not as dramatic. So sometimes it's finding that balance between bigger shapes and smaller shapes, okay? Going all the way around. Okay. And another cool thing about the mandala is like none of the individual components of it are complicated at all, right? Maybe the onion domey thing is a little tricky, but for the most part, they're simple shapes. What makes it beautiful is the repetition of those simple shapes and how balanced it all looks. So I'm gonna let everyone get caught up a little bit. What is a mandala exactly? That's a great question. I'm not going to Google that on my phone. I think it's a word that means something that I'm going to tell you. I'm so glad. Graziella always brings the hard questions. Listen, she doesn't let you get away with anything. So this is an important thing for me to know in the future. Mandala is a geometric configuration of symbols with very different applications. I know that. We know all that. It's an aid of meditation and trance induction. It's part of Eastern religions, Hinduism, Buddhism, Jainism, Shintoism, and then the New Age has taken over a lot of it.
Hello?
Hello.
Oh, hi.
Hi.
It's Brigitte.
Brigitte,
I haven't
tell
been
me.
able to speak. I haven't been able to speak until now.
That's hard on you, Brigitte, I know. Brigitte is, oh, look how cool that is. Brigitte, that's really groovy.
Well, I'm doing my best, darling.
Listen, darling, and I'm going to call you Mandaling, the new code word. So I will say to you that your first mandala is probably not going to be your best mandala, but it's a cool journey to take, and they're fun to do because it's a learning experience, and it's, you know, it takes you out of your comfort zone a little bit. So I've saved this last petal shape because I want to do a big onion dome, and we're going to work with Elizabeth to make sure we get this right this time. Let's see.
I want to raise my hand.
Oh yeah, that looks cool. Good. Now,
David, I'm raising my hand.
yes,
We're
Betsy.
probably one behind you because you did a larger one in the beginning. And we did a
Okay.
smaller one.
Okay, great. So I'm going to let you get caught up, Betsy. Is that what you were asking?
Well, we're going to have 2 more to go.
Okay,
3 more.
fantastic. Oh, I see. So I'm telling everybody this is my last one, and Betsy's like, not for us. So, but let's talk about, while you guys are doing this, so now, because you still have the pencil framework in here, you could potentially go back in and add some cute stuff in other areas. So I'm going to grab a green Sharpie. What is he talking about? So if I locate repeating cross marks here, then I have the option to add designs within the design. So maybe I'm going to, like inside of the purple mandala, I could add a cute little green petal, right? So that's how you can, once you've got the basic mandala structure done, you can continue to go back in and add more things or not.
I can't
So
see.
I'm, again, just repeating that thing, and I'm adding some more details to some of the mandala. I'm adding a little green petal, so then to it as well. And then maybe I want to go back in and add, let's see what we're working there, another little layer of purples. So I'm going to add like just a little purple petal in between these two red ones that I did very early on. You're just paying attention to consistency on all the shapes, right? So you can go back in, and now it's looking even cuter, right? Because I'm going back within the larger mandala structure and I'm adding additional details. I might even want to go in and add like some little circles here, because I love circles. Just right inside of the red, maybe. That looks not great. Looks off a little bit. And then maybe a smaller circle here, just for fun. Got it? So I'm adding designs and details inside of it. So I'm gonna do, I have room for one more big petal, and I'm gonna do that onion dome shape again, because Elizabeth, a lot of people struggle with that for whatever reason. Once you get it in your system, you'll be making them all over the place, but it can be tricky. So watch me on this. Here's the secret to it. Do one line that's a parenthesis above this line, and then one line that's a parenthesis that goes below it. So watch, Elizabeth. I'm finding the middle of that triangle. The first curve goes above that line, and the second curve goes below it. That's how you get the shape. Does that make sense? Graziella says, why is nobody drinking? They've got flasks. They're being very, there you go, Betsy. They're drinking. Okay. So I'm going to, Elizabeth, I can't hear you. Okay. Right? So look, the secret to the, the secret to that onion shape is find the middle of that line. There's a curve that goes above it, and then a curve that goes the other way. It's like sort of like an S shape. Does that make sense? Curve above and then curve below. Is that your kitty cat, Anne in Hollywood? Yay. Look how cute. I see the tail.
Stripey O'Sullivan.
Oh, yes. Hilarious. Oh, yes, that's it, Brigitte. That's fantastic. Good. Good. All right. I'm gonna repeat that shape again here. So I'm gonna find the middle of that line, right? I'm gonna do a curve that goes above it like that. And then I'm gonna do a curve that goes the opposite way and makes its way to that point. Is that helpful? Yeah? So I'm gonna do a curve that goes above, through the middle, and then to that point again. Got it? So I'm gonna do that all across. I find the middle, I curve out, and then I curve in. Sort of an S. I find that point. I curve out, and then I curve in. Good. Find that point. Curve out, curve in. Curve in, curve out. That's tricky. So I'm creating this shape all the way around. Find the middle, curve out, curve in. Find the middle, curve out, curve in. Good. Find the middle, curve out, curve in. Find the middle, curve out, curve in. So that gives you that onion domey thing. And as I look at it like this, I can see this one's a little out of whack down here. That's okay. I didn't curve out enough. Got it? I'll close that up for a second. All right. Brigitte, that's gorgeous. And your onion domes are good.
I mean, it's all a bit lopsided, but.
Yeah, look, that's great. Phil, oh my gosh, so proud. Jen, that's beautiful. Good. Hold up your, Diane, that's adorable. Very nice. Hold up your mandalas, guys. Wait, I want to get a picture of it all. Hold on. Don't go anywhere. Keep them up. Wait. All right. Okay. Like that. Okay. Hold up your mandalas, everybody. Fantastic. So good. Good. Oh, look, Natalie held hers up too. All right. Elizabeth, let me see yours again. Let me see it. Oh, nice. So you're going more traditional flower. Fantastic. Good. Good. Mom, did you show me yours? How's she doing, Tom? She doing okay? Let's see. Very good job. Very good job. Very good job. All right. So once you have this structure done, you can go back in with, you can erase the pencil lines, or if you did it in chalk, you can erase the chalk once you've gone over it with paint. And then you can add, you can make decisions. Do I want to color something in? Do I want to add additional lines inside that shape? So do I want to add more curves like this? Right? And repeat that pattern. All you need to do is just make sure that it's consistent all the way across. But you can see what I'm doing here. It's pretty cute. I'm just adding 2 more curved lines inside of that previous curved line. And it's sort of adding something new to it. Experiment around. Play with it. Have fun. Don't judge yourself. This is about just getting lost in the process and having a good time. Good, I'm going to do this one more. All right. So something like that, I just added designs inside of the design. So if you repeat the same design inside of it, it adds something, or you can just fill the whole shape in. Good? Good. Do we have any final questions here? I feel like everybody is lost in their art, which makes me so happy. David, Graziella's asking if I used a pen or a pencil. I used Sharpies. I use markers to do mine. Show me your paint and chalk one, Graziella. No? Come on, you. Let's see. Oh, that looks great. Now, Graziella, now do a couple more smaller squares and then add dots and stuff to it. Like this. So if you add a whole bunch of dots and then you erase the chalk away, don't dot on the chalk, then it looks really cool. And I'm gonna do a
David,
Yes.
I lost you like 25 minutes ago, so I'm just sitting and watching. And I want to do it again. It's too much. I mean, it's too
much, but that looks great. So you were perfect. You were perfect. So I'm gonna probably do the class again because some people
Yes,
West
please.
Coast weren't able to do it.
Well, I couldn't get the grid very good, so mine's like a little strange, but I'm happy. It's like,
No, it's good. I love it. It's
I just
very
want a picture of the grid.
Yes.
I can get the grid back. I missed like a bunch of lines.
I know you came in just a little late.
It was okay. I mean, I still enjoyed it, but I need to do the grid.
Yeah, so I'm gonna do this again probably on a Sunday because some of the people out on the West Coast weren't able to join because this is like the middle of the day for them. So, but do me a favor, everybody. Post your mandala pictures and tag me on Facebook or on Instagram, and then I'll figure out when a good day will be for the next class, and I'll post it and announce it. Okay?
David, can you hold up the dot one again before you leave?
Hold up the
The one with dots, please.
One with dots. So I did this the same way, and I'm gonna definitely do a dot mandala one. I did the same thing. I did chalk lines. You can even see sort of the square and the diamond here, right? And then I went in with, that's different colors, blues. It's actually blues and golds and whites. So there's just like a couple colors in that. But I'll teach this technique because there's lots of dot mandala things out there, but I haven't seen anybody that does this with the chalk removal.
Beautiful.
So when you get rid of the chalk, it looks like stained glass. It's really cool, right?
Is there any way you could send us like the actual grid again? Because I missed parts of the grid.
Yes, I will do that. I'll send you the grid. The diamonds, it's diamonds and squares.
Right, the diamonds and squares. I missed 3 or 4 diamonds and squares, so I was lost.
I know.
I'm like, I'm missing several.
Okay. So I want to thank everybody for joining the class. Thank you to Natalie for moderating it and doing an amazing job. And that's great, Brigitte. Post your mandala pictures and tag me, and we'll get together again soon.
Bye,
Thank
buddy.
you, David.
I love you
That
all.
was fabulous, David. I loved it. I loved it.
Bye, Brigitte. Love the chat.
Thank you so much.
Bye, guys.
Thank you.
David, thank you. Thank you.
Fantastic.